You're welcome back to the chat right here on Channel One TV with me, Akol Kumsi. You know, when I take my seat, especially this very beautiful green seat, you know, it's about to get heated because the conversation is about to roar. And today we are looking at, record labels. Is it business or is it exploitation? Because, you know, people are like, oh, why should I sign on to a record label? I don't have to sign on to a record label and all of that. So we'll be having that conversation right here in the studio. But today, I have one beautiful lady, two fine, handsome gentlemen right here in the studio with me. One person is joining us via Zoom, and I'll start with our Zoom guest for today, George Britton, CEO of Revolve Music. How are you doing, George? Oh, I think we've lost George right there. But hey, George will be joining us very, very soon. But right here in the studio, I have Pep Jr. My schoolmates, let me put it that way. You know, we had our time back in school. He says he went to UP, IPS, I came to UP. It's fine. Whatever it is, it's fine. How you doing, Pep?
I'm good, bro. It's good to see you.
It's been a while.
I haven't seen you in a very long time.
You're lying. You saw me recently,
Where?
and that thing you do where
I
you see
remember.
Pep, and then Pep will be like, oh, and they come right now,
But
forget, that's it.
It'll be true.
It don't be true.
I don't remember because as they invite me, I said, this guy, I see him almost like 5-6 years.
Yeah, okay.
But I watch you for TV, so.
So, Charlie, thank you for coming here. He's the team lead for the Pep Entertainment, right?
Yeah, Pep Entertainment, yeah.
I like the way you've pushed this thing from school and now it's materialized. I'm very, very, very proud of you. And then also we have Beatrix. Okay. Beatrix what?
Obengsaki.
Oh no, I don't want that one.
Beatrix Potter.
Beatrix Potter. That's the one I want. Yeah. He is the lead consultant for the Mad Woman Agency. See, it's fine, woman, calling yourself a mad woman. but why the name Mad Woman though?
So we wanted to be able to stand out. That's the only way we feel that people would actually stop and turn. So Mad Woman turns heads. So anyone that actually hears the agency name, they're curious to know more about us, pretty much. Yeah.
That's nice. And then also our final guest for today on Zoom, we have JMJ. I think recently we were on and we're having a very, very good time, and I'm super excited to have you here once again. How are you doing, JMJ? Oh man, we've lost JMJ. I don't know what's happening. We're having a technical problem with our Zoom guest today, but I think George Britton is back on. Hi George, how are you doing? Hi George, how are you doing? All right. Let's just go with the conversation for today. They'll join us via Zoom and then we'll be able to have a very, very good conversation. But Pep, since you are here and you are into this whole conversation you've been hearing this whole conversation about record labels, people thinking people are signing slave deals and all of these things. Can you just run me through, just briefly, what is this whole thing about record labels about?
So usually I tell people, record labels are not NGOs. They are not there to do charity. They are in for business. And when it means business, it means it's commercial. So record labels are commercial entities that help artists to elevate their career by investing in them. So basically that's it.
So the record label is there, he has the money. So say Eko Kumse, I have the money. I can say, okay, Eko Entertainment, I'll be a record label and then I'll invest my money into an artist.
Yes.
So to propel the artist's career.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's it. Now, I just want to know also from you, has it always been beneficial?
Has it been beneficial to the artist or to the
Both
label?
parties.
All right, so I feel like somehow it's been beneficial to both parties because at the end of the day, everybody makes money. But just that a lot of time people complain that the artists do not make money. So we take it like I'm an investor. I can invest my money into anything. I can put my money in pure water business. I can put my money in food business. At the end of the day, I'm trying to make profit, right? And you, the artist, you have the talent. Maybe without my support, you can't propel your talent to the next level. So at the end of the day, it becomes beneficial to you because, not all record label deals are slavery, as people say. Sometimes it's beneficial to artists. Because I've been with lawyers that have negotiated deals, that the deals are beneficial to artists. So a lot of times it's 50-50, but usually it goes in the favor of the record label than the artist, a lot of times.
All right. Now, Beatrix, record labels provide essential support to young artists to be able to propel their career? From where you sit, what you've experienced in the industry, do you think they really provide essential support?
I think to differentiate even a creative agency and a record label, I think the creative agencies are more artist centric. We focus more on, their vision, their branding, whereas the record labels are more commercially viable. They choose like that path because, of course, they're inputting money, they're putting in, a lot more time and effort into the, artist. So differentiating both of them, one has more focus on, the artist's vision, their path, even down to, their brand, how they market themselves, whereas the others are more focused because there's a lot more money coming in from them and they are also investing a lot more.
Oh, okay. So from what I'm understanding from what you're saying, it means that record labels mostly are looking at investing money
100%
into the brand.
Yes.
And you have to now give them a return on investment
Exactly.
for whatever they are doing.
Exactly.
Now, George Britton from all the way in the UK has joined us. Via Zoom. He's a CEO for Evolve Music. How are you doing, George?
I'm good, brother. How's it going?
I'm doing very, very fine. It's good to see you once again, right here on the show. And I've been seeing that you're doing a lot of things out there in the UK. So let me say kudos to you. Recently, I saw that you were able to put together a very beautiful concert as well. So, that's a very, very good one. But can you tell people a little bit about Evolve Music? What do you guys do now? Because, it used to be, people thought it was all about artist management, but now it's like it's changed. So can you tell us what you're doing now with Evolve Music?
Okay, great. So basically, Evolve Music is it's a new music brand that we're building, which has got 4 wings: media, distribution, events, and streaming, and we put it that way. So, it's a new thing that we started now. We are looking at, we are giving ourselves time to, grow up, to suit or to fit the world standard. So that's what we're actually doing. That's how come we are, headquartered here in the UK.
I want to.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Hello?
Hello. I think we lost George right there. Hi, George. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. All
right. So please go on.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, it's a new music brand that we're building. It consists of 4 wings, which is media, experiential, music distribution, and lots of streams. So basically, that's what we're working on now. It's new. It's barely a year old. We are looking at taking over the world by the 5th year, hopefully. So
wow,
we're putting it a lot of effort to get us there.
I like the vision, taking over the world in the 5th year. Wow, that's what we're doing. That's very, very good right there. But today we are talking about record labels, the ethics. Is it business or it's exploitation of young artists, that we are putting young artists in quote? And from where you sit, how beneficial has record labels been to artists in general?
From what I said, I would say that it's you can't survive without it now, especially an African artist coming into the world standard. You definitely need a record label to propel you to the next stage, right? I've heard 1 or 2 stuff, 2 statements in Ghana that get disappointed. But what it is that, like Pep said, you as a talent, you got your talent, right? And I've got my money to project you to the world.
Yeah.
So if we're able to collaborate, definitely we're both going to win. But the mere fact that the artist always thinks, or the talent always thinks that he's going to be cheated at the end, is what really breaks my heart. Because you might have the talent, like the Ghanaian artists have their talent. They're not big, they're not global artists, right? Because they don't have the major labels behind them. You get me? You can match some talent, Stone Boy, Burna Boy. You can match our people too. What's it called? Some of these top artists.
Yeah.
But the mere fact that there are no record label behind us, we are not being able to hit the ceiling. So definitely record label is an essential part of music business, and every artist needs a record label to get to the top.
Wow, yeah. It's interesting you're saying that every artist needs a record label.
Yeah.
But Beatrix, if I'll come to you, at what point should an artist consider getting onto a record label? Because sometimes people feel like, oh, but I was already a matured artist before the record label came. Or the very minute I start, I need to sign on to a record label.
No, I think if we are paying a lot of attention to what's happening now, a lot of people are moving away from the traditional aspect of probably joining a record label as soon as possible. A lot of independent artists are coming out now. They're even forming their own, groups. They're all joining creative agencies based on these reasons. I feel like it's not ideal for an independent artist or an artist that's starting up to directly go into, a label, because what music have you put out? What have you promoted about yourself? Do people know you even in the country that you're starting in? So I think understanding that you have to be able to form your vision in a manner that even leading to your path, whoever is coming on board, whether it's a label that's investing in you, whether it's a creative agency, whether it's even just you being independent, you still have to get to a point before you get there. I think even getting to the record label, you should have been able to put yourself out to a certain point that they would even locate you without you having to do, the extra work. Yeah.
Now, Pep, I mean, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I think I agree with her to a certain level of what she said. Because, for instance, I have a new artist. He's called Asomisi. He recently just got signed to Sony. And before we signed to Sony, we had about 17 record labels reaching out to him that they wanted to sign him. So we look at the option. He's just like, as at the time he was signing to Sony, I'm not sure a lot of mainstream media knew about him in Ghana, but all these record labels knew about him because his numbers on the DSPs keep growing each and every day. Because I think he went viral twice on TikTok. So now what happens is the record labels do not come for, they do not look for talent, right? They come for established artists who they think will give them the numbers. So let's take Asomisi for an example. He was going viral on TikTok like the second time. The first time record labels reach out, we said no, he's not up to that level. Let's try another sound. We tried a similar sound. The sound went viral again, and then now about 17 record labels came that they wanted to sign. We weighed the option and realized that, is he ready for the market? Yes, he's ready, because at that point of his career, where he's going now, he's become too popular on the digital platform, that's the online. So we needed to take him offline. And then we needed the help of a record label, because for us, we didn't have that financial muscle to push him. But when the label came, we've seen like a significant improvement in the work that we do, because the label offers us whatever we want to do. If we say we want to go to Kumasi to promote, the label will say, how much do you want? They'll give you the money. So I feel like what she's saying, somehow, I agree with her on a certain level. Yeah.
Now, it looks like for most people, right, they are looking at, okay, the record label is coming for me. Now, as a young artist, coming to you, George Britton, and also Pep, what should I look out for before I sign on to a record label? Because you see, most times, that's where people get to have this conversation of, oh, they've taken advantage of me, it's a slave deal, and all of that. So I'll start with George and I'll come to you, Pep, then we'll do that. So what should an artist look out for before they sign on to a record label?
I mean, I would say don't sign more than 4 or 5 years for starters. Reason being that lots of people, especially if you're a new talent, right? Now, the label is going to spend the next 2-3 years to market you, and that's going to require a lot of money to do that. So clearly, don't sign. I would say don't sign more than 4 years. They'll sign for the first 4 years, see how things go. I'm sure after 4 years, you probably would have gone. Then you can renegotiate the contracts. Yeah, that's what I'll say. Because reason being that you might sign a 20% deal from starters, because they will need the larger amount or the larger share to cater for you from the beginning. Because listen, in the beginning you might not have a hit song. You get me?
Yeah.
But they'll start to spend on you. So imagine spending £100,000 on you, without you having no hits. How do you recoup this money back?
Yeah.
You get me? So you also think about them as an entity that need to make money on their returns on their investment. You get me? So you can do a 3 to 4 years for me. Possibly 5 if you trust and believe that they can do the magic. And then afterwards you can renegotiate your contract. Now, let me touch a little bit on the whether you're a new or an existing artist.
Okay.
What it is that you just have to have the potential to blow up. Because the reason why Pep said his artists blew up on TikTok and people start coming up. Now that's what the labels are doing. Now they are hiding. I wouldn't say hiding. know, they're hanging in, looking around who pops up. You get me? Who pops up to show that, okay, this guy actually can, get us our returns when we put in the investment. So not necessarily you get into the top, like, in Ghana, there are 3 or there are 4 S's. You can start young. You get me?
Yeah.
So another thing that's happening these days, that when a label is signing you, this is they ask you to come along with your team.
Yes.
You come along with your team so that it wouldn't be, as monotonous as probably before.
Yeah.
In this case, when you come along with your team, I'm sure Pep and his team are handling Asumasi, and they know how to, to move him from one state to the other. All what the label does is, okay, let's share a plan, let's discuss it. It's good. I'll finance it. You get me? Unlike before, where they sign too many people and put them on hold. So things are changing a bit. And like you said, the guy might have talent. But how do I, who live in the state or in the UK, get to hear of him?
Yeah.
So some of these things we need to find a way to, encourage some of these young guys. Now, the mistakes that most of us do is the kind of deals that we sign. We don't really seek the professional advice. So, just probably I'm underground. So, I want to get involved. So I want to get to the top. So, I quickly go sign anything. Before you sign the contract, seek the support of, an attorney or a lawyer. Then he will help you out. But go ahead. Look for a label that will help you.
All right. Now, Pep, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I think that he basically said it. The most important thing when the label approaches you is first your lawyer. So for us, I always use him as an example. We went back and forth. Like our lawyer went back and forth with the label's lawyer, like for 2 months, and then,
So when you say back and forth, what is actually dragging this whole thing, making it back and forth?
So sometimes it's the clauses and the terms used in the contract. So
okay.
Maybe they might say, with. The lawyer say, I don't want with, I want it as. They say it. He said, I don't want it, I want it we. So that's,
those final things.
Yes, those he tried to fine tune.
Now, when I want to speak to a label, right, and now the label is saying, so don't perform. Can the label actually decide that don't perform on this stage, that stage? Don't drop this song at this time. Does the label have the power to influence all these things?
I don't know about. I've not encountered any label telling you don't perform at this stage, because one, the labels always want you to sell, so that they can make a lot of money. So, for instance, you can perform at College Ono and you had 10,000 people streaming your show. The label don't have that. You don't actually know where your streams will come from, so you can't prevent somebody. But in terms of not dropping a song, that one, the label has their own structure of how you drop the song, because you can't, now you're on the label, you can't just wake up and say, I want to drop a song. You can't just wake up and say, I want to drop a music video. He has to go through the process, because he has to go through, they need to check to make sure that, because when you are signing the contract, there are terms that states that you can't release, when you are releasing the audio, it has to be in a certain format. You can't just release the song in any format. Wow. When you are releasing a music video, you can't release the music video in a certain format. It has to come out. Every record label has their own standard or format of the music video. Even the audio you put in the music video, it has to come out in a certain format. So you have to go through all that technical process before.
It's that detailed.
Yeah, it's detailed, but bro, it's not what you think. It's not difficult.
Okay.
Because if I have a song and I send to, let's say, someone who mixes and masters a song like Nova, and I say, Nova, this is the standard that I want. Nova will give me that standard. So it's the same thing, but sometimes mediocre will make you think that, oh, it's a difficult. They are just trying to make you meet up to the international standard, because that's the standard everywhere. So basically, that's it.
All right. Now, Beatrice, when you are in the creative agency space, right? And you also know a bit about record labels. Now, how essential is streaming numbers, especially on these DSPs and everything? How crucial is it when you are, especially for a creative agency? Is it that crucial for you? And how crucial will it be for a record label as well?
I think it's more crucial for a record label, because, like I said, a creative agency, we're more focused on, how the artist comes out in terms of their brand, how they are marketed and how they're promoted. In our case, we were we handled talents as well. So we handled SD Legend, talent management.
So when you say you handle talent,
yes, so we manage her.
You manage her.
Yes,
but
so we
how
manage.
Different is your management from a record label?
I wouldn't say In our case, it was our first talent, so I
Okay.
wouldn't say it was far off because as much as we knew that this is what we needed to do for the numbers, we also made sure that we pushed the brand in a certain manner that would get those numbers as well. So I'll say it works hand in hand, but I would say the record label are more onto it.
Yeah.
And in a similar way, we seem to really be focused on music business as well.
Okay.
So in all the conversations that we have, I mean, one of the things we do is collaborate with music business or record labels as well to be able to help artists in this case. So in that focus, we're able to understand what exactly it is that we're pushing for, the numbers that we're hoping for, all these detail in it, but also knowing that the brand first is really important because how else would people notice?
All right. So for you, you are focused more on the brand,
Yes.
putting the brand out there.
Yes.
But then that's stream. So does it mean that you don't pay attention to the
We
streaming?
pay attention to the streaming numbers, but like I said, we usually collaborate with record labels that handle the music business aspects for us more. So even when we check the analytics and everything, we know what exactly is happening with the artists, the numbers that the artist is gaining, the countries that are even listening more. So these little things, we do pay attention to it because we understand what digital aspects is. So I would just say that we just collaborate with the record labels to make it a lot more understandable for even our side.
All right. Now, George, can you school us on the various or the different kinds of record labels that we have out there? Because, or like the terms in there, because sometimes people actually think it's one size fits all. So a record label is signing me and they are going to give me money and I'm going to drop a song and drop an album and then that's it. But are there things in there that would differ from each record label, different record label? I mean, when you're looking at it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, record labels, the deals are not, one size fits all. It depends on you and the kind of conversations that you have. You can have a 360. That means that they are involved in everything you do, from production, to performance, to everything, with you. So that is 360. There are ones that they only come in to distribute your song. There are ones that only come in, to market you. So, like I said, it differs. It's not like one size fits all. So if you want to sign a label,
Yeah.
what you are supposed to do, like Pep also said, engage the use of a lawyer. Let him get involved. Tell him what you want. You get me?
Yeah.
Now, weigh what the label is also bringing. See what fits both of you.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for us in Ghana, most people they fear the term lawyer. Because it's assumed that one, they are expensive to deal with.
Yeah.
So people are running away from the law. So it makes it very some type of way dealing with these people. But it's still like what the mass solution people they do like this. What it is that, well, in case you don't want it, in case you think you've not gotten to the stage where you need the service of a record label, you can hire their service.
Okay.
You get me? So you can hire their service because because they're a creative agency, more or less like an advertising agency. They know how to promote you or project you. But like she said, she works at a record label so that they are broader, but the label definitely will stay with you. So with regards, they can also advise you but you need a legal practitioner to advise you in this case.
All right.
You can go in for 360 deal that contains or consists of everything.
All
now let's give ourselves examples in Ghana.
Yeah.
Like Kiddy is signed to Empire.
Yeah.
Black Sheriff is equally signed to Empire. You realize that two of them have got different contracts with Empire.
Okay. Can you educate us on that?
I mean, you can easily tell that Black Sheriff is on a 360. I mean, from what I know it's on a 360 contract with Empire. Now, of course, because I'm not preview to the contract, I will not be able to say
The final details of it. Yeah.
terms, you get me? But what I know is that Empire is very, very visible in his career than that of, let's say, Kiddy. I mean, Kiddy could be just distribution. You get me? Whereas Black Sheriff's on, it looks like it's a whole something. It's a 360 thing.
Okay.
You get me? So they are very much involved.
All right.
I mean, with the percentage wise, like I said, I can't state them, because I'm not privy to some of this information.
All right. Now, when you are signed onto a record label and you are making money as an artist, who gets the bigger share? You, the artist, or the record label gets the bigger share?
Of course, it depends. People sign 50-50 deal, people sign 60-40. The best deal you can get in town now is 70-30. Even that one you've had, they've given you enough, but I'm telling you for fact.
Really?
70-30 they've given
So
you
people
now.
go like as low as like 80-20.
Yeah, people do 80-20. It's normal, bro. Because for me, you know, I'm when I speak based on practicals.
Yeah.
So I have one of these guys that had his song viral on social media. He had the opportunity to feature one of the biggest artists in Africa on the remix. Yeah. And then a label wanted to take the song and distribute the song so that he can make money. And he said no, he wants to go through his own way, and he did it his own way. And I met him and he was telling me that, bro, if he had known, he would have given the song to the label, because if the label was even giving him 90-10, it would have been more impactful than what he had, because when he distributed it alone, he didn't get anything. So for me, I feel like sometimes, you see, like it's better to get 10% of $1 million than to get 1,000 CDs, bro. You get what I mean? Because, bro,
No.
the music business is not what we see here. There's a lot, bro. You can't exploit the song. You can't exploit the song to the fullest, bro. You can't exploit. How will your song reach a wider audience if you use a streaming platform or a distribution platform that will not even have you won't even get the leverage of them playlisting or anything, bro. That's what I'm saying. It's better to get 10% of $10 million than to get 100,000 CDs all alone, bro. Sometimes you need to look at it. When I give the song to the label, how would they exploit the song? And then what will come out of that's the most important thing, bro. Because you go, if you get a song for Ghana, yeah, they go play, you go play some show for Sunyani, play one before Accra, play some high schools, then the song go. But if you give the song to a label, the way they go exploit and, bro, in the next 3, 4, 5 years before your contract ends, big man, even the advance that they give you, safe, you go cover whatever money where you go play that show, bro. I'm telling you for sure,
man.
bro.
Anyways, but when I come to like a creative agency like the Mad Woman, do you advise an artist to say, okay, drop an album because where you've got into is very popular? Because I know record labels do that.
Yes.
They demand for you to drop
Yeah,
an album.
so it's usually in the contract. So for instance, maybe a label contract, they'll say you do 2 EPs and 1 album. So 2 EPs, 1 album, maybe for the next 3 years. So you have the whole of next 3 years to drop 2 EPs, 1 album. Maybe they'll say the EP is 5 songs, it's 4 songs. The album has to be 8 songs or 6 songs. Exactly. And then the label will exploit it over a number of years. All the number of years that they will exploit the song, you still get your royalties. Don't forget that before the label before you sign to a label, everybody gives you an advance. So before you go sign the label, you already get some cool cash.
Some cool cash in
Bro, you get some cool cash.
But you see, Richard,
Yes,
don't you think that is actually what is causing artists to like, is that not swaying them into signing deals that they really do not understand? Because if before I sign the deal, you've already given me some $1 million.
No, when you sign the deal, that's when. So when you sign the deal, you get your
when you
first
sign.
advance.
That's what I'm saying.
And when you
If I
submit
know
the-
before I do any job, some money is sitting in my account.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that rather encourage people to get into deals that later locks them in a small place, and then now they're like, Charlie.
I think in our case, when we were managing SD Legend, what happened, it took us a while to release our project, and for us it was mainly because we realized women in music is not a big thing in Ghana right now. We wanted to make sure, even in the period that we're putting her out, a lot of people would pay attention. So we released her project in International Women's Day month. That was the day that we
okay.
released it. And that's what I'm
March
saying.
8th.
No,
was
March,
March.
yes,
Yeah,
it was
March.
March, yes. And, you know, it's based off our marketing strategies as a creative agency. We understood that if we put it out this way, it could get a lot more noise based off she being a woman first, and also she trying to put out that she's trying to make some noise and let people know about her. We even decided in terms of the name of the EP was You Will Know My Name, mainly because we wanted people to understand
okay.
what exactly
Okay.
is.
Okay.
So, and even to add on what he said, all that planning with the distributors, even down to the royalties that she was getting, all these conversations I had to make sure that even in the period that we're releasing everything is tied down perfectly and perfect enough for her. Yeah.
All right. I mean, joining us also on Zoom, we have JMJ. I mean, the legendary music producer. It's JMJ, baby. How you doing, JMJ?
Hey, big man. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very, very fine, man. Oh, wow. It feels good to see you on Zoom. I mean, I wish I could have you in studio for us to have the conversation, but hey, it's good.
It's all good. I'm
Nice.
sure come again.
Beautiful. But today we are talking about ethics of record labels, is it exploitation or it's business? And actually, you at a point in time had a deal with one of the budding female artists in Ghana, but looks like now the deal got to a point where she cannot perform your songs anymore. Now I want to know what went into that deal initially, and then now why did you get to the point where you're like, hey, you cannot perform my songs anymore? And it looks like after that we've not heard any more again. We are talking about Kaki in this sense.
So let me throw the question back to you. Where did you hear anybody saying that she couldn't perform her songs anymore?
I mean, that's news in town actually.
Well, it's more like saying, I heard they say you be criminal, so come and tell me.
That's why I'm giving you the opportunity to clarify that, because that's news in town.
Anyway, I would side with you, ask such a question, because that's the best way to trigger a lot of conversation. First of all, nothing like that.
Okay.
And then two, sorry, TV.
It's fine.
It's two.
Okay.
Like I said, there was nothing like that.
Okay.
And then, you see, I don't think there's ever any deal anywhere in the world that will say that when we come to an end, you can't have access to your creative piece.
Okay.
I doubt anything like that. With the person in question we are talking about, the fallout didn't go on properly. That's how come it went that way.
Okay.
You understand? So I try to avoid this conversation. So because I'm tired. It's almost 8-10 years now, and every time anybody gets access to you, it's the same question they keep asking. But let me give an example of Miss V, for instance.
Okay.
It fell off. Miss V was still performing the records, right?
Yeah.
And all they needed to do was come to terms that, listen, you have a catalog with us, about 3 or 4 albums.
Mm-hmm.
Your catalog come to an end. So for the next 2-3 years, anytime you perform, maybe 10-20% comes to the label.
Okay.
Until after time, then you're on your own. Those are some of the basic agreements I know that they fix. You understand? But what happened to our issue is that the person got off the contract on Instagram, didn't come to us. We never had any conversation as to say, okay, so we are parting ways. What's the way forward? We want to do, can I continue? What can I do? Can I use the materials and all of that? No conversation like that happened. We just saw it on Instagram that she said she's done. And I didn't feel the need for me to chase the person and call the person and listen, let's have a conversation, let's try and understand, blah, blah, no. I also just left it like that. So I think that also created room for media people to also
Create
feed on
their
their
own
own
speculations.
Yeah, and I'm not the type who like talking about. I always say that managing anybody is more like a relationship between a man and a woman. We can fall off, but I would never want to go and be dating ourselves. Oh, I did this, you did that. I'm not that type, basically. I just, because once we have had good times before, I want to keep the memories of those good times, basically. I think this is even changing the conversation. I like, let's not make it me and Kaki.
I feel you.
Conversation is much better than this. Yeah.
All right. Now, if I come to you, George, who actually owns the creative piece of the artist when you are signed onto a record label? And I like the fact that, what JMJ is saying has actually triggered me to ask this question, because sometimes the news or what people think is, oh, once they sign onto a record label, the record label owns everything. And so who owns the creative piece? Do I own it jointly with the record label? Am I the 100% owner of it, and then the record label owns a part of it? All of these things. I mean, George, Pep, any of you can actually help me with it.
Okay. So basically,
Yeah, George.
Yeah. So basically, there's something we call masters.
Okay.
And usually, the record label that pays for the masters when you're signed to a record label.
Okay.
That means that the record label will own the masters or own the songs, for a period of time. It could be 5, it could be 10, it could be 15, it could be 30, depending on what you sign. But what, like you said, you can always perform it because it's your intellectual property.
Yeah.
You get me? But when it comes to who owns a song, who can go ahead and make deals with the song, then the label comes in first. But definitely you will be involved as the creator, because regardless of the the deal, you are the intellectual property. You get me?
Yeah.
But the masters are always with the label. So if like Pep did, if you're supposed to release 2 EPs and an album over a period of time, and then you are done with it, the contract might state that okay, this project, we're going to own these masters for a period of 20 years, 10 years, 5 years.
So
you get me? So
they can own the masters beyond the years that you are working with them.
Yes, definitely.
Wow.
So you can sign a 5-year deal, but they will be in charge of the masters for a period of 10 or 20 years. And mind you, masters are not just owned by record labels. These days, even distributors own masters. So you remember Pep stated that you'll be giving some upfront money.
Yeah.
So what happens? If you're distributing for me, I come to you in some instances, right? I'll come to you, and what you say is, okay, you know what? I like the song, I like the project. I'm going to give you, $500,000 as upfront money. You get me?
Yeah.
That can be your pocket money, or out of that money, we'll take the marketing fee. Now, in a case where it's your upfront money, that means that, okay, you have your 500,000. Now the label or the distributor is going to spend another 500,000 to market the songs. Now, what you should know is that they will have to reap all this investment before. So let's say if $1 million is spent, right? 500 for you, 500 for the project, which includes recording, video shooting, marketing, and all that. Now, what it is that the label will have to reap the $1 million invested. Now, after reaping the $1 million invested, now they go back and say, okay, you know what? After the $1 million has been reaped, now let's share any amount that comes in afterwards. So we invested $1 million in you. We've been able to sell 1 million. We'll take our investment out. Now, from today onwards, every money that comes in, we split 50-50. You get 50%, I get my 50. But even with the same space, in that space, or even after that space, my contract might state that, okay, you own the masters for 20 years. So until 20 years, I will not own the masters. And that is not news. I mean, there are a lot of artists working out there who don't own masters of their own songs.
Wow. But what does it mean not to own masters of your own song, Pep?
It doesn't mean anything. Bro, for me, you see, like when I hear people, I don't own my masters. The label, they are not going to keep the masters for perpetuity. Eventually, they will release it to you.
Yeah.
So, just like I said, when you have the masters, how are you going to exploit it, bro? So when the labels are able to exploit the song, you get a fraction of that money. It's not like the label are exploiting the masters and they are getting the whole 100%. Nobody signed a 100% deal. Even if you are getting 1%, you're still making money from the masters. So for me, I think so far as you are not signing perpetuity deal, that's forever.
Yeah.
I think even to add to that, a lot of the time people don't understand that the labels are also catering to a lot of the needs of the artists.
Yeah.
So the production, the video shoots, the marketing, the photo shoots, the time spent, transportation, all that little funding. A lot of people seem to forget that aspect is also there. So I think a lot of the times people also accumulate that to make people understand that this is even the fees that I have put into this, or I've invested in you based off all these other things. And that also adds to people also just keeping it as, okay, maybe based off this deal, let me have your masters or anything like that. The deals go in a way that favors both parties.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Now to GMJ, it's good. I mean, I'm super excited to have you here. Now, when you look at Ghana, what can we do to actually elevate the record label culture here in Ghana? Because it looks like when we hear about record labels, everybody is moving. Like I have to go to Sony, I have to go to Empire.
Exactly.
But what can we do to elevate the conversation of record labels in Ghana so that we can have homegrown record labels to actually propel talents and get them, to flourish out there globally?
Okay. Before I answered this very question for you, to add master's conversation.
Okay, go ahead.
So there are a lot of world-class artists that recently, before they had access to their masters. As we speak, I'm told Ashanti is still trying to get access to her masters from Eve Gotti. What's the name?
I've got it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson had access to his masters also not too long ago.
Yeah,
now,
from Sunny.
Your masters is that, for instance, another artist can want to do a remix of your song, and they would have to come to terms with your label to get the back ends done and paid for. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Some products could want to use that song for marketing purposes. They would have to reach out to them. Now, like Pep said, even if it is even just 1%, you are getting out of 100 million. You are far better off than somebody who is getting 300,000 Ghana as everything, as the owner of everything. And you are just within a small pond, whereas there's somebody in the bigger sea.
Wow.
Okay, now let me answer how to help labels in Ghana to grow.
Yeah.
First of all, we need education. Because if you look at where the world is in terms of our business, and if we are still discussing the fundamentals in the year 2024, it means that we are very, very, very much behind. Because sometimes you hear instances of an artist and then a manager have issues, and then you see somebody like a journalist. And you see, when we say journalists, we have different kinds of journalists.
That's very true.
And journalists, we have, and then you see a general journalist who has not probably read an artist contract before, and he's doing a proper editorial plus his feelings on what he thinks should be out there. I'll use myself as an example.
Go ahead, Jimmy.
When the Akaki and I prop up, everybody was just saying whatever they felt good about.
Yeah.
A lot of them were, when I read some, I noticed that it was just passion, sympathy, feeling for the artist, which always is the case.
Yeah.
The artist is always loved 100%. So it's like, oh, this artist has struggled and done all of this, and then these people just want to rip him off. Like the lady writer said, there are a lot of things that labels do that some don't even go into contract.
Yeah.
Can you imagine artist is sick and you have to take the person to a hospital? When you finish, are you going to record securing his health also as part of the contract and take it out?
Oh, it's part of managing the artist as a record label.
Imagine you are there and your artist, there are things we can't even say publicly, but
a lot.
Much. If you want to say it, and you know, it also shows how good we are, because we're able to magnify the artist so well that all the fans just assume, say, artist now not story, and one day, boom.
Because that's the narrative out there. Because that's what we are seeing.
Yeah, no, but they just believe, say, oh, the artist just wakes up, and now I call me studio and boom. See, there are days, ask George Britain, we don't sleep at night. We have to roam from pub night. These days that there are streaming platforms and all back then, the artist is sleeping. Me, George Britain, me at Accra, all the boys, Elombini, we are moving from one pub to one nightclub, making sure that you are keeping. See, till date, Kaki is no longer working with me, but I still own some DJs by you. Sometimes when but all of these are not recorded though.
Oh man.
All of this are recorded. You see Pep sitting there.
Yeah.
I owe Pep a lot of favors because he has done things backdoor for my label, my artists. That is not even recorded. But out there, all of this is put into a contract and it's taken out.
Yeah.
To end up, like I said, one of the key things we need to do is education. This country don't even have music school, music education. Back then, I'm told they used to have stuff like that. Now, my brother, we don't have that. The second point is money. You see all of this conversation, the biggest. Like, for instance, for me to be able to get Pep and George to do write-ups for my artists, I need to just allow cash out.
Now the chat concept.
And even if they are sleeping, they'll stand up, they'll wake up and go and get it done.
Yeah.
You see Pep's new artist, if he wants his song to be all over in South Africa, if he release money, they'll get it done for him right now. While he's seated right in Accra here, everything is money. So my brother, like there's some silly stay in town.
Yeah.
And labels have duped the artists.
Yeah. They've taken advantage of the artist.
Let me tell you something. All you have is talent. All you have is voice. To turn that whole thing to become a product that somebody in New Zealand is listening to, somebody in Australia is listening to, somebody in wherever is listening to takes money. It's not prayers, it's not magic, it's not miracle, it's money.
All right. Thank you very much, JMJ.
Who decides to put his money on, my brother, wants profit.
Yeah.
End of story. So never assume that there's any record label out there that is an NGO. They are all business entities.
I like it.
They want to make money, they want to make profit and share profit with you.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right. Thank you very much. I mean, Judge Britton, in 30 seconds, can you just add on to it? Pep, we come in studio and then Beatrice, you round it up for us. So, over to you, Judge.
Yeah. Okay, so basically, what I'm trying to say here is that, what I want to say is that, I've had conversations in Ghana regarding don't sign to labels or they'll cripple you, they'll do this. Listen, if you want to go global, if you want to go international, if you want me to be hearing your song in the streets of London on radio and all that, you sitting in Accra, you might not have the money to come and pay a plugger here in the UK to play your song. Look out for record labels. Now, like you did mention how to empower the local record labels. We need to treat this whole thing as a business. If I have money, if I know an uncle or a brother who's got money, and I want him to invest in music, I need to move to him as a business person with my documentation backing whatever I'm saying. You get me?
Yeah.
But when we move to these guys and say, "Oh, Charlie, the guy did force, go be." No, that's how come everybody's running away, because we don't do projections. We don't let people understand that if you put one, X amount to get Y in the near future. We need to engage the services of, the accountant and every label thing is big. But they say in Ghana, it looks like a joke because, oh, Charlie, me, I know a lot of people. Let me sign you. I can make you popular, and that has been a conversation. So, halfway through the deal, everybody crashed and it goes. And honestly, this is a bigger conversation. So I thought, I think the time is really small. We can, extend it. But what it is that if you're an artist looking for a label, be open your mind, go out there and get signed, get somebody to work with, because you cannot do it all alone.
All right.
Otherwise, you'll be known in Ghana, and that's all.
Thank you very much.
There was a day I posted a song and said, "Oh, this song is not, whatever." Somebody said, "Oh, but Chinese people are dancing to the song." No, you might probably see one or two people do TikTok video. It doesn't mean the song is popular there. Other artists on labels are all over the place, and that's what we need to push for. Don't believe the bigger artists when they say labels are not good.
All right.
Labels are very good. Go in there and sign a good deal. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, George. I mean, coming to the Pep in 30 seconds and Beatrice.
For me, I feel like music generally is business. Just like the way someone will wake up and want to put his money into selling spare parts. That's the same way someone also wants to wake up and put his money into music. That's why it's called music business. So for people to invest, there need to be a plan how the people will recoup. So I feel like artists should not just take music like they are playing. It's more serious business because music fits a lot of people. Like for instance, when we take someone like Davido, he has over 100 people across the world on his team. And imagine if he pays everybody $2,000 by 100, how many people? So we should really take the music business. Charlie, before I go, my assistant is watching, so she's the one that runs the stuff at the Pepper Entertainment. She's called Adiola, so
All right.
say hi to her. Yeah.
All right, Charlie. Shout outs to you, assistant to Pep.
Nah,
I
she's the one
I don't
that-
know how you're even managing being assistant to this busy guy. All right.
I think what I would say is artists should also educate themselves. As much as you have a management team, as much as you have a record label behind you, I think it's very, very important that they educate themselves as well, because it would also give you a lot more insight into what exactly you're going to. Is at the end of the day, is your life, is your skill. So if people cannot just continuously tell you what to do. You should have some level of, education as well. And I think I'll also add that, record labels should also collaborate with creative agencies. I think this is the time that is very, very important for artist development in Ghana. I think we're very much behind, and that's another reason why, we're all the way behind in the back, because we're not able to, push the brand, or we're not able to push these artists out there in a manner like every other country across the world is. So that's another thing I'll add on. Record labels should really consider collaborating with creative agencies. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Beatrice. Thank you very much, Pep. Thank you very much, JMJ. Thank you very much, George, for making this conversation a very good one. I mean, I agree with what George said. The time is not enough for this very heavy conversation, but we'll make time for it another time right here on the show. And also, as a creative, make sure you get a lawyer. Get a lawyer. Get an entertainment lawyer who understands what is written, all the clauses. She can be able to interpret it, or he can be able to interpret it, so that he'll be able to sign a good